Tell your favorite rapper we ready for 20 rounds though. I just been chilling in the cut, you know me. But when I step out, it's a movie, it's an extravaganza. Fleazy McFleazy though. We like this. Follow me. Look, I check my bankroll first, insert new checks in it. Only fuck with the real, middle finger to gimmicks. Drop my main girl off, pull up with your missus. Now you wanna just fight, you should be mad at your woman. Click boom at your noggin, yeah we came to get it poppin'. I got plenty choices and I may just choose your mama. I got plenty commas and niggas be pocket watching. If I like some pictures, that don't mean I'm trying to holler. Like damn bitch, just accept the compliment.
Anywho, how's it going out there, folks? Good peoples on this here Saturday. Nigga! I gotta, you know what's fucked up? Like, I always think of, like, cool-ass sound bites while I'm out during the week, and then, yeah, after the fact, and I never be like, damn, I should have.
My brain is filled with sound bites 24/7. I just, like, I have my own personal commentary, and it just...
I be forgetting to be like, I should write those down, because... Literally, I'm in a station in studio where you could just put them up here and like use them.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, I always forget.
You have the opportunity. I mean, I see the shirt though. You know,
I think I don't know where I got this from, but I'm very proud of it. Like I realize I have like a lot of like unnecessary because we're like at the house. It's like, you know, one of them big fucking. It's time to clean and throw this shit away and throw all this shit away. And I was like, oh hey, look at this. Look at that. Look at me actually having shit.
Look at this shirt. Look at this.
And remember this. And look at that.
All this butt nakedness.
A tad, actually. Those are usually like somewhere like in phones somewhere. You find an old phone and be like, oh, I forgot about this. I wonder what's... Whoa, this was a time. Look at life.
If it wasn't a charge, just take all the like the old flicks that you've been sent over the years and turn them into t-shirts. Just like put a bar over their eyes or something so you can't.
That would probably like super sell. Like
I know, but still,
I mean, you know,
you gotta avoid cases and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, protect the sanctity of nudes, folks, because it's a lot of niggas who be like, what's that shit called? Like revenge porn.
Revenge porn.
Yeah, you niggas are trash.
You just messed up news.
Yeah, because news is just a really good fun time.
It's
like
freedom of expression, and people ruined it because they wanted to get all petty because she left them or some shit.
Yeah, like I don't know, you niggas are whack, or whoever, niggas, women.
I mean, whoever got nudes and then used them as revenge porn, you suck.
Yeah, you guys really fucked the game up. Nudes was such a good time, like.
With the exception of the Kardashian brother, was it Rob Kardashian?
That nigga was throwing nudes.
He threw Black China.
Oh,
he threw hers out there. Not that I care.
That's whack. I mean, that's a whack thing, and also I'm not really checking for Black China.
Yeah,
it's a whole.
The whole situation's whack. I say that only because we don't care about Black China like that. Like she's not that important.
I know. Like I remember seeing a lot of her stuff on like what was that World Star? Like, it was some weird channel. She had like a reality show or some shit. I don't know. Life is weird.
If she wants to do a reality show, we should see the reality of where she got her body from.
Oh, I feel like, is that even up for like debate? Like just fucking, I don't know.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, no, it's real.
Crazy.
I mean, we got white people that still don't understand Black Lives Matter or
that's true.
Oppression.
It's a lot of like
racism, stuff like that. This stuff doesn't exist. We had Obama for 8 years. Like, okay, see, so I'm sure there's somebody out there that thinks like Black China has a real body.
That's weird. Like I saw there was like another post because there's like a lot of things are now like bleeding in on other stuff. This conversation leads to this conversation, and on top of this. So I want to say this might have been something that bled out of like some of the J. Cole stuff, which clearly we're probably going to get into today.
Most likely.
But it was like it got into like body standards for women and shit being just wildly unrealistic, which is true. But sometimes I like look at like, you know, some of the pictures they're posting, and you get like, you know, like a Black China or what were those like two twins? One of them went to jail for like fucking, they were like models, and one of them went to jail for like fraud or some shit.
The
Either
Olsen
way.
Twins?
Maybe them too. But it was like, yeah, it was just like all these, you know, pretty much all these build the bodies where it's like a super shrinky fit waist and this dummy ass that you go get from Dr. Miami and shit.
That
and
Bugs Life. That Bugs Life special.
And I know that this is probably 100% like the result of me just staying in my own little bubble with my own personal friends and like-minded people. But I don't really know mad niggas that be like, every nigga I talk to, you included, just be like, that shit looks weird. Like you just said, the Bug's Life. Like I don't know any niggas that be like, man, I want her to be out here looking like literally an actual live representation of Helen Parr. Like I really want me an Elastigirl built bitch. Like that shit looks creepy as fuck in real life. But I mean, I know they exist, but I always just be like, is this like, are y'all really
natural? You can walk around looking like Elastigirl, but
cause like, and even that, like, it looks natural. All this unnatural shit looks weird. Like I don't know how it, like fat ass niggas, like even I remember even like as far back as even like college niggas be like, you know, she got a little like pudge or tummy. I'm like, a fucking human being. We're not even fully adults, like, but human. I'm a adult human. This shit. That's what it looks like. Fuck is wrong? I don't know. I don't know. Shit's weird, and I know weird ass niggas exist, so I can't really like knock anybody's experience. But that shit is just like, what the fuck? Who out here really checking for that?
It's like I said. We got some strange fruit floating around, and they definitely are looking for. I don't know why. I mean, you got to think about it. They didn't pay for it themselves.
Think that way, because it like the feedback will kind of come into the. Like the signal, yeah. So on that, it happens like we used to do that. I used to do that all the time because like if I'm over here, it'll like I don't know radio stuff. But yeah, that shit's weird to me. Like
I said, somebody's paying for it. So since somebody is paying for it, that means they like it.
True.
I don't understand why, but not I, my guy. Not I can't. I don't mind if you get a little work done. Cool, get a little work done. The key word is a little work done. A little work done. You can't be like 135 pounds and then get 40 pounds of ass put on you and ain't did nan squat.
Yeah, I think it should be like, I don't know. You can do whatever you want with your body, but yeah, I just think everything in moderation or where it makes sense. Oh no, I'm good. Fucking y'all didn't listen to enough Andre 3000. She didn't even gotta have a big old ass. Just something nice proportion to her body. God,
that's all you need.
Come in, God. You prayed about it.
Unless if it's real, then yes, you can have an extremely large posterior. We're not mad at that. We're not mad at the natural, the actual factual. We like those because it's mad. Many African out there with motherland cheeks, and we definitely motherland cheeks. Speaking of which, randomly, slight tangent, but not really off topic.
Lovely.
We got to start putting respect on Chocolate Bones' names.
Yeah,
because we don't get a Chocolate Bones enough love like we should. And
that's a whole.
That's a whole thing, and I don't like it. I don't like it. To any of our listeners out there, if you are a Chocolate Bone woman, aka a dark skinned woman, we love you. We appreciate you.
No, I couldn't say that like I haven't been, I guess, paying attention or wanting these conversations to happen. I know I always feel like, you kind of get like the thought process that damn it, because once again, I think like a week ago or a week or two ago, I think they're still going on, but like the big colorism conversations were happening, and there's always kind of like a first knee-jerk reaction thought is like, fuck, it's a lot of things going on. We're talking about police brutality, and it always seems like we throw in 50 different situations but I also kind of thought to myself like, okay, I feel like maybe over the course of however long these conversations get swept under the rug, so once you see like a crack that we can talk about all things bullshit, you just like blow the doors open. So when I thought about it like that, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Like, this is a conversation that needs to happen, because I do think I kind of sit back sometimes and I'm like, oh, I don't do it. So I just think like, that's fuck shit. But I know there are people out there, black women specifically, like who experience that shit. But I've sincerely always thought that shit was corny. Like, not from a space of like, I'm super pro black man and I've always loved the sister like I do. But I just always thought of it from how y'all gonna say she not sexy? Like,
yeah,
just
I don't understand it.
Like, I know that boils it down to just somebody probably could say like you're objectifying and it's real lusty, but just from a basic, just regular ass, that is a sexy fucking human being. I remember conversations in school, and I you experience it everywhere, but I remember like that was one of the more experience I heard people like in our age bracket. You know, I heard uncles and all that other shit say red bone, yellow bone, all that shit. But you go down, I'm like, okay, like niggas really having conversations like this. And there was niggas dead ass saying shit like, you know, she bad. I'm like, you know, she's, from my perspective, sir, she cool. You know, she all right, but I feel like you're giving her just a lot of, you know, like I love a yellow bone. I'm like, so well, let's have this conversation. You love her specifically because she is fair skinned
with lighter eyes, perhaps.
But that
means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't like associate with, you know, beauty. And I know like back then I wasn't really up on like, oh, there's levels to why this is a thing. I just thought niggas was corny ass fuck niggas. But then, you know, and this is not to give a pass, and I feel like this will probably be a theme throughout the conversation today, is just like understanding where these thought processes come from.
Right.
So I'm not out here just like niggas is fuck niggas and niggas is on bullshit, or itches is fuck itches and hoes is on bullshit, without understanding the totality of why somebody thinks that way or why they have that thought process. But yeah, I just was like, I never was like, I just was like, man, that motherfucker right there. I don't give a shit, you know, if she's black as this door. That's a bad motherfucker just because it's a bad motherfucker. Like,
yeah, I don't. We are two logical, rational minds. So our opinions are a little bit biased because we use thought and, you know, we actually pay attention to things. So we kind of know the root of where that conversation comes from or what it stems from. So we're a little bit different. But I don't see how you look at it at a dark chocolate thing oiled up real nicely, booty on up in the air, just glistening off the night sky. How do you not? Like, no disrespect to the lighter toned ladies out there. We love y'all as well. Brown is brown, and we, you know, it can all get down. It's okay. But
look at these fucking bars.
Hey, every once in a while, I get a little sprinkle. But your skin is, the lighter your skin is closer to white people's skin, and white people's skin is terrible. It's all, but conditioning wise, we're thinking that that's what beauty is, and we completely neglect our chocolate bone sisters. You have put some respect on their name. Like, just because you can take an average, not to rate women, so we don't want to make it seem like we're, you know, objectifying women.
Context is a big thing here.
Context is a big thing. We're not trying to objectify the women.
Okay,
yeah, just so you guys know, we're not trying to objectify the women. But you could take a solid 6 that's light skinned with light eyes, and dudes will hype her up like she's a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take a dark skinned 8, and dudes would be like, oh yeah, she all right, like she's average. Like, bro, like, hold on, like, the whole pigment issue, please don't disrespect her beauty like that just because it's not what you are conditioned to think is pretty.
And those conversations would even come about because, like, I saw my sister like having a lot of those conversations on, say, like Twitter, right? And you would have like light-skinned women, I think, who didn't even kind of understand that some of the things they were doing were kind of propping up this kind of thought process. Like, you know, if you're in your bio saying, you know, green eyes 2020 or curly Q, you know, curly hair baddie, or, you know, whatever.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you know, you're experiencing it and it is different, you know, and I don't want to take away from everybody. I think if you boil it all the way back down to the root of racism and so on and so forth, like, we are all affected differently, but let's, you know, just acknowledge that this part that you're doing is your effect, but it's not a good,
right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not calling her necessarily out of her mouth, like, oh, you shitty for being dark skinned, but you are hyping up. It's a difference between, like, I'm proud of myself and I think I'm personally beautiful because I love me, as opposed to I'm propping up these body standards or whatever, that green eyes are better than your dark brown eyes, and my hair being, I don't know the fucking categories, but it's better than
it's bought, so it doesn't count.
Or that shit.
If you buy it, it doesn't count. So, like, oh, she paid for it. Like, anybody can have it. But that's another discussion. Yeah,
I don't know, it used to really confuse me because I remember not being aware of just like, oh, you know, conditioning and the effects of racism and the effects of, you know, the fair skin, even things like, you know, shout out to, you know, bullshit ass paper bag test and shit like that. So I used to always come into it, you know, shout out to, I guess, my parents or whatever, because I used to always come into it like, I don't understand where you guys are getting this from. Like, later on it started to make more sense, but I remember like going like, so y'all just gonna say she not sexy? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm trying to catch it. I'm trying to make it make sense. she's sexy because she's sexy,
Right.
not because she's light skinned. I might not find her attractive because that certain body type or whatever is not attractive to me, but whatever the fuck. I'm like, but yeah, I've always thought that skin shit was dumb, but understanding where it comes from now, that doesn't, and I think that's nothing, like, just because I understand where it comes from, that's not a grounds that, like, I give it a pass. I just,
we don't give it a pass at all.
understand, like, oh, okay, you niggas have this, and these barriers for how you think or whatever. And now not just understanding, but those are things you can attack when you have conversations instead of going, you a goddamn dumb fuck nigga. I mean, you could do that too.
You could do that, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You're yelling at a wall. But I mean, attached to the whole colorism thing within our community comes the whole, the light-skinned chick that we're hyping up because she is of fairer skin tone is normally also going to be the one that's putting next to her green-eyed goddess whatever in her bio. She's also going to put some whatever flag of whatever side of her family she's from because she's mixed. And there's a lot of that going on too, where you highlight the fact that you're mixed as if that's supposed to make you special. Newsflash. Hello? Can you hear me? Everybody out there. Guess what? If you live in America, we're all fucking mixed. So there's nothing special about you just because you know where your mixture comes from.
I think there should be a bit of a conversation about, the hyping. Like, there is something to be said about, everybody's first thing is, I'm just proud of who I am. Like, some of y'all, I'm not going to take that away. I think, you might be proud that you're Irish, or you might be proud that you're whatever the fuck else. But a lot of y'all are trying to make sure that you set up your, hey, look, man, this is how far I'm separate away from blackness, or this is how far I'm separate away from blackness. Like, I'm setting up my distance from this black shit. Like, I'm over here though. Like, I'm cool, but I'm over here. I'm not fully engulfed in that. So
I'm black, but I'm not crispy black like the rest of you niggas.
Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity to, like, I think, pick and choose part of the shit that you think you want to care about. I like hip hop. Oh, you guys are talking about cops. My cousin's a cop or whatever. Ooh, I love Beyonce's new album. I don't really like that she did that Black Parade thing, but I do like all this other stuff. That's really nice. Get information, ladies. Whoop whoop. Ooh, I don't like. Yeah, you get to, like, bounce in between so you don't have to really. And that shit's corny as fuck.
Not only is it corny, it shows how ignorant you are.
That too.
And that's the encompassing thing. That goes back to the whole skin tone. That's closer to your whiteness. When you show your ignorance, you're really showing, like, how close you are to your Caucasian side. You're digging into your caucasity.
It's a trip though how much, like, and this is not like a diss, because information is out there, and some people might not have access to it. So I do like this wave of, like, consistently you just see posts like, what was that shit this week? The motherfuckers found out Beethoven was black. No. We did not find out Beethoven was black, because that's not the first time we've heard it. Yeah,
well,
I remember that being
for some people. I'll give some people some credit. I'll give some people a pass. For us, it's not our first time hearing it, but we actually care about our culture and our history, and we learned these things. So that's not a new thing to us. But the fact that there was such an uproar to, like, some of y'all know this. Like, even if you didn't, like, y'all didn't watch Hidden Colors? What was it? Hidden Colors 3?
Nope.
Was it 2 or 3? One of those early ones. They told you all these different people that's really black. And you're like, oh, I didn't know Beethoven. First of all, you wasn't listening to him because it's not mumble rap or trap music anyway, which is a travesty. But now you get to actually see that we are the godfathers of all music, which is nothing new. But, oh, I didn't know Beethoven was black. Like, did you go and listen to Beethoven's Fifth today in honor of Beethoven? You probably didn't, but it's okay. He's one of y'all. He's one of us.
Yeah.
Embrace it. We created music.
I like that. I mean, I know some of the Hidden Colors thing are kind of like, I guess maybe the time frame, or like some of that is in a theme of you might want to seek out information. I kind of like at least this wave now, and I want it to be more than a wave of just keep throwing shit out, because this shit is not a secret. It's shit that, how I know I've always said, like, a quick 30-minute Google. I know I've quoted myself saying that shit.
Go down that rabbit hole.
Now I feel like, you don't have to go necessarily find the rabbit hole. I know at least one good thing about this is that it's just you open up somebody's story, you might get 5 or 6 posts of like rabbit holeness before you get to some ass and titties. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of, you know, you got to go out of your way. I feel like now, at least for the past like, you know, month and a half, you almost have to go out of your way to avoid some black shit. And I'm liking that. And I like, you know, and Beyonce, I think, just to throw back to her little Black Parade thing, because I was listening to that today. And I know Beyonce's in like another grade of like artist, but depending who, you know, you talk to. But I like that she like, you know, even on her shit, I'm like, what this nigga just said, Oshun in a fucking song?
Right.
I was like, this is nice. I was like, not that I'm against fucking, you know, I love the Martin Luther King lyrics. I love the Malcolm X lyrics. But let's, you know, let's bust this bitch the fuck open.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of that. I don't know who else is gonna follow suit, but I do like the idea of like, oh no, we're gonna keep pushing this shit because everybody for the past forever. I'm not knocking anybody's contributions. Love the civil rights, love all, but there's more. There's
a whole lot more
here.
There's a whole lot more to the situation that we have to pay attention to, and it needs to come from certain people, because like Cole or Kendrick or even a Wale or somebody pop up saying some stuff, you expect it from them, so their audience is going to understand and get it, but their audience isn't everybody.
And it gets thrown in that blanket of, oh, these niggas are smart.
These smart,
these
woke,
niggas is woke.
You know, conscious rappers. Like, but I actually appreciate the fact, and I don't know, dude, and this ain't really a cape for him. But shout out to Lil Baby. I appreciate his new song. Normally I'll be like, Lil Baby, no, let's moving along. Let's continue. But he shows some growth in this song, and he's the type of person that message needs to come from, because it's not expected from the younger generation. They don't expect to look to Lil Baby for a conscious song, and it's a well-written, well-rapped, well-informed conscious song. So shout out to him for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. We needed that. We need more of people to like the other baby. You pop up too, nigga. You know.
He did something with him and Roddy Ricch dropped a song that was kind of current, I guess, if we're using, you know, there's talking about current events and topics. They did a song. I know T-Pain dropped something, but he's T-Pain, so T-Pain can do whatever he want. But yeah, I am looking forward to, or being hopeful about the trend of, not to say niggas got to stop talking about ass. Let's say they got to stop talking about titties. I like those songs. I like, you know, ready to go like fuck some shit up. Sometimes I'm not in like a super whatever conscious mood. I just want to hear the ratchet shit. But I do like the idea that, hey, you guys, your door is bigger. The door is, you can open this door bigger than you're doing. You can do more with your platform. Not to say you got to get away from who you are. Not to say you don't have to do, you know, get with the jiggy shit over here. But yeah, we can. You niggas can explore. And the fucked up part about it is you see interviews. Or you talk to these niggas like later on in life. They've been these guys. They just were scared to, you know, dabble in this other shit. So I'm like, yeah, nigga, like, yeah, now's the time, motherfucker. Like,
you could actually be grown on your music.
Swing some dick, do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
but that goes back to the root of what we were talking about, like the root of where things come from. A lot of these guys have to portray a certain image because we don't control the industry. So in order to break through, you're doing some shit that may be counter to what you really believe. And then once you start to mature, then it's like, oh, here's a conscious song here, and here's more of a mature song here. Why you didn't do this in the beginning? You know, I had to wait the right time. You know, like, oh, the white folks was dangling them strings and told you that wasn't going to sell, so they didn't let you put on the album. Now you done got close to your contract, or you getting an understanding of what's really going on. You like, fuck this, I'm going to do what I feel like. Now you're actually doing your artistry. What they come out with in the beginning really isn't their artistry, because it's not who you are being authentic to. You're just releasing some shit that's going to sell.
Yeah, I think, and sometimes I wonder if that's like, I mean, clearly it's the artist to do whatever the artist wants to do, but sometimes, like, is it the artist, or is it like sometimes fans also don't let artists grow?
Yes.
Like,
we got to take some accountability in that as well.
Yeah, he's rapping different, or he's saying different shit, or
he's saying words and sentences. I don't like that right, shit.
Like, you know, that motherfucker, like, we all know for a fact, like, that nigga's not selling drugs no more. He's not at all whatever in the fuck he was no more. Like,
some of them never started in the first place, but that's a whole nother conversation.
There's a lot of that.
There's a whole lot of that. There's a whole lot of that.
You're a liar.
There's a lot of diamonds that are really cubics out here, and they're shine a light on them, expose them just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I want I want this to continue. I want these niggas to be like, yeah, nigga, like, get some, go ahead and try it. Like, go ahead and fucking do this, do that, grab this, throw that over. I think we should give artists room to explore, fuck up. And at least I'm just speaking right now, like in a music sense. Oh, that was trash. Don't ever do that again. I'm not gonna not buy your shit, but that right there, don't do that no more. Like,
but they don't always have a person that's gonna be honest with them in their ear and tell them that that's trash.
That's another thing for me that's weird. Like, I know people change, money changes you. That's clearly a thing in some way or another with folks. But I'm like, damn, nigga, like, you want somebody on your squad to just like, even if that's, I would almost, if I was like a artist, like I would almost have somebody who just look, man, your job, 100% is to be authentic. I will literally put you on the payroll. We got all these stupid ass names, executive producer, whatever the fuck. You are the executive director, liaison of truth. Like that's all I want you here for.
That doesn't have to be a job. That's what your friends are supposed to do. You got your friends, your family members, your dogs from the street. You got them on payroll, and ain't nobody telling you the truth. Not a one. You ain't got your homeboy in the corner like, yeah, dude, you just finished this album. This album's gonna be hot, and he just eating some wings in the corner like, that shit trash. I love you, and I'm still gonna fuck with you because you my boy. But this album is garbage. I won't be playing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's probably a lot of factors. People get enamored by the money. You get scared that this person is, you have to feel like you have to really evaluate your relationship. You get scared this person's going to throw you off, like niggas is hating, and everybody I think misconstrues certain levels of criticism for hate. And I know you get attached to your art and all these other things that they say, but it's like, man, if that was bad, then that was bad. Like, that's it. Like,
look, you can't, he a hater. He just hating because I'm getting money. Not like, he watches your children when you're not around. Like, he checks on your baby mom to make sure your kids are straight. Like, he's probably the realest nigga in the room. He's the realest one that you got. And if he's telling you something is garbage, I mean, even if you disagree, respectfully, like, you know what? I know that's not really your style in the first place, so I get it. I get that may not be your thing. So, you may feel like this is garbage. I still respect you. I still love you. You're still my boy. But, maybe you can get a little bit more input on the next outlet.
Yeah, I know, and maybe this is another conversation about, people communicating, whatever. Like, you maybe shouldn't go up to the motherfucker, hey, yo, that shit was ass, bro. Well, I don't know. Sometimes maybe you should.
Depending on your relationship.
But, maybe like, okay, if this nigga's sensitive about his shit, go, hey, man, no disrespect, but that might not have been your best work because of A, B, and C. And now it's on this individual to be able to take it and go,
you right.
All right.
You right.
You right. Be able to differentiate because, you have everybody's, journey and communication level styles is different, but some people like, that nigga's hate. Nah, he really just said, like, respectfully, that's not your best move. And then, this person keep it real. That person says you're fucking trash, and you should know the difference.
Right.
Like, motherfuckers got to have, I don't know, have more conversations or have, do a little more in-depth work with how you and this person interact or whatever, because
people have to accept it more. Because not even just on the music tip, when it comes to going back to the whole looks conversation, going to the conversation of all the protests and things that have happened, like, everybody's going to approach a certain situation differently. And just because you disagree doesn't mean they're 100% wrong. Now, we do know right from wrong because some shit just don't make no sense. But we have to be willing to have a conversation with people that have views outside of ours to make sure that we fully understand what's going on. Because some shit is not me being a hater. We just don't have the same perspective on this situation, and we got to figure out how to meet in the middle.
Or your name is J. Cole and you drop a song and you say a bar in that song, and then everybody says
blah, blah,
that you're
blah,
a
blah, blah,
raging misogynist.
Right.
And and then you give shout out to a artist and individual who is keeping like everybody wildly informed on a number of topics. I really don't know how No Name does that because she's like super informed on shit.
Right.
And then even she comes back and is like, you know what? Response track, because shut up, nigga. I mean, her shit it wasn't like fuck you, but it was still a lot. I've had three conversations about this, all with black women, because I know for me, I am not in the demographic of niggas that are being talked about.
Right.
But I understand that those niggas exist. So I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to minimize or dismiss, but it's kind of hard to sometimes have these conversations because if you have if you say well or but, and I know both sides when black women talk about black men and vice versa, it does kind of sometimes feel off. Oh, you're dismissing what I said, or you're not, you know. So
is it really you being dismissed, or do you feel dismissed? That goes back to the proper communication. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that that's their intent, and that doesn't mean that that's what they're trying to get over in this conversation. You got to ask some questions, regardless of how you feel. Hey, what did you mean by that? Like, clarify that for me. So just so I make sure that I'm reacting the right way, tell me what you meant by that, so I have a better understanding.
Yeah, because even there's, you know, I tried to listen to it a couple different ways. I know when he said, I know the line that threw everybody shit off was, you know, paraphrasing here. He was like, you know, I don't like her something black woman. I don't like her tone. That's what he was mentioning in the song, you know, and everybody was immediately jumped to the usual go to that, you know, black women are aggressive and they talk rude and they're hard to deal with and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, to a certain group of men or whatever, if you're that narrative exists, and also that narrative exists for a couple reasons, and then this is not justifying that. I'm just saying that these things exist. There are certain truths and reasons which I'm hoping I can maybe like expound upon a little bit, but then
clean it up.
Well, I'm not cleaning. I'm just like we're expanding. Like I said, what I said.
Right.
But there's, you know, and then I even thought about the perspective of maybe if you are a J. Cole, who's somebody who before this statement everybody is championed as, you know, one of the good ones. So maybe even from his perspective, like, damn, like, you know, you coming at me hella heavy, like I feel like I'm getting the brunt of something I didn't do or whatever.
But that's part of the issue. If we know that somebody has historically and on a regular basis been one of the good ones, and he says something that doesn't sit well with you, maybe you should try to clarify what that means, because he doesn't typically say something that's telling you whatever in your mind. Like that word says this to me. Does he traditionally do that? No. Is that something that would be a little bit out of his character? Most definitely. So maybe that's not what he intended. Maybe you should ask him, or maybe you should listen again and see what the actual perspective of it, since we can't actually ask J. Cole what his perspective is in that situation. But
yeah, because he's jumped out and tweeted like, I'm not cleaning it up, you know. So like I said what I said.
I said what I said, and he has a right to feel how if something makes him feel disrespected or uncomfortable or unsupported or whatever or dis negative connotation of word that he feels based on a certain situation, he has a right to feel that way. And let's play devil's advocate a little bit here. When women feel that way and they express that, we don't jump down your neck and tell you you're wrong. We have all these women empowerment type situations that are going on right now, which are justified and needed. So when you're saying whatever, I feel this or I feel because of you doing this, you can't forget that men have the same right to feel a dis or an just like you do. You can voice your opinion. He can voice his opinion. Doesn't necessarily mean he's 100% right. Doesn't mean you're 100% right. But he has the right to be able to at least express himself and get a little context before you jump down his throat, because we don't jump down yours. And if we try to, then you're going to say we're misogynist or we're hateful or we're trying to stifle your freedom of speech or whatever the case is. Like, no, I just disagree. And that's all it is. We can disagree.
I haven't thought about it from this perspective. Like, if we're giving J. Cole the level of J. Cole-ness that he's been on about being with the shits and being one of the good ones, if we're going to just keep running with that, what if he didn't like, you know, if we're going to, you know, music is expressive, and I'm not trying to just say this as like give J. Cole out, but just a way to view it from a different perspective. Because when I first heard it, I had the same reaction everybody else had. I was like, ooh, shit. He said, ooh, nigga. But I'm like, okay, what if he's just saying, as a black man who supports and completely rides and backs my black woman 100%, what if I just don't like the tone of her voice and the fact that I hear her being hurt?
Right.
I don't like, you know, educate me, let me know, because I'm hearing your tone, I'm hearing you sounding hurt, and I'm hearing that I'm thinking I'm doing enough, so tell me where we dropping the ball.
Right.
But I know, like, you know, that perspective never even came up, because I'm like, okay, maybe he wasn't even saying
because it's rational. It's a rational thought.
Yeah, just was like, man, you know, I'm like, not to just say,
Ain't
you know,
nobody told you to get out here and be making sense.
Yeah, no, you know, not to say, you know, the nigga's not, you know, I don't know these people in person. I don't know behind closed doors. He could fucking choke kittens. Don't get that out there. That was just a joke. J. Cole doesn't choke kittens. I'm sorry. I could even let that one sit for a while.
No, we had a documentary on that already, and it had no black people in it. Thankfully,
Man, I couldn't even watch that shit. Just complete fucking.
I haven't
sidebar.
even tried to.
Man, somebody told me, because when I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I almost clicked it because I'm thinking Netflix be having the wild shit. It might be entertaining. I think I fell asleep, and I talked to somebody maybe 2 days later about it, and they were like, "No, it's not. It's whatever you think it's." I see you smiling. I see you have a bit of a chuckle going in. You think it's going to be entertaining, and haha. I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "No. You're going to walk away from this very, very different than when you went in." I was like, "Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Go ahead and put that over there. In the,
Let me take this off my watch list.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need none of that.
Right.
But yeah, I you know, I'm just like, I just feel like and I feel like this is just a big issue with us in general. Cause that's one thing that kind of turned me away from when I first had that initial thought, when all these conversations blew up after, you know, George Floyd, and we get the colorisms of this one's that one, like in what's the term I want to say it correctly, like a lot of talks about misogynoir, which I'm not neglecting that any of this exists. I think that sometimes the conversations we have in our communities with each other, about each other, we have in a very attack the symptom but not attack the cause conversation, in like that, you know, if black men aren't protecting black women, I do feel like sometimes, you know, you do have, like, not even sometimes, you do have on the internet, you'll have a lot of, you know, comments and bullshit, and this niggas just go out of their way to shit on black women.
Right.
And it's a bit of, and this is not victim blaming, it's a bit of, for both sides, because you have, you know, niggas who think black women like just shit on them. You live in, I've done it, you live in these spaces, and if you keep following, like, you know, if I go follow Patriot Dan 2020, I'm gonna
sounds like a terrible person.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ingest tons and tons of racist shit
right
all the fucking time. I like games. If I'm playing Call of Duty, in order for me to enjoy this, I gotta maybe cut the mic off, because it's gonna be nigga,
right,
and I'm gonna go, damn, nigga, video games are racist, or video games are trash because of these individuals, instead of acknowledging that I'm kind of living in the space of where the bullshit is.
Right.
I feel like that's an aspect, but I also feel like even if you throw that completely out the way, if we're gonna talk about our issues, if, you know, and maybe this is a mental health perspective, if I'm talking to a kid, I know he robs, I know he steals, I know he beats motherfuckers up, but I also know he robs and he steals and he beats motherfuckers up because, one, he was homeless. You know, he robs because that's the only way he knows how to survive and get food. He beats motherfuckers up because he might have been, you know, assaulted. So this is the only way he knows how to protect himself. I'm not a verbal person, and all these other there's a bunch of other factors in order for him to become this person. If we look at, and I've had this argument with dudes when they say black women are difficult to deal with. I was like, okay, well, let's look at the black women experience in its totality. If niggas are mass incarcerated, you have, everybody loves posting like Huey P. Newton and Malcolm X, and all these niggas were killed.
Right.
So everybody's learning that if you stand up and swing dick, you will die.
Right.
You're not going to get, you are going to die. You're going to get incarcerated. You're not going to be able to get a job. You're going to get, and in a society where, you know, financially you have to be like, you know, the White House picket fence, 2.5 kids, like that's the standard of living. I don't give a fuck, millennial or not. That's what you've been taught. And as a black man, if you're not given on a whole level, you're not given the resources to be that guy, you're looked at as less than. So if you have a black woman, she's having to hold spaces that are supposed to be for you. It's supposed to be a team effort. We're supposed to be a unit. So if I'm going to work, I'm handling these kids, that becomes, instead of like a symptom, that becomes like our dynamic, like single mom, that's what the fuck she does. So when niggas are talking to black women, they think this is a real difficult thing, and you're not taking into totality her experience. I'd say on the flip side, niggas don't have, it's a different symptom. Like, niggas are looked at as weak and boys, but I'm going to be a boy if I've never had a teacher.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, and this is not a conversation it took me literally 3 separate 2-hour conversations, like a piece, to have this kind of thought.
As you should.
Because it's like, this is not a way to, I'm not absolving niggas. I'm not saying that you don't hold men accountable, because men aren't on the, as a whole, aren't on the front lines the way they're supposed to. But I think if we attack this from a space of, it's always talked about like, y'all just not there, y'all aren't shit. I'm like, okay, but you're talking about it as if niggas innately aren't shit, and we're not addressing why niggas are out here not knowing what to do.
Right.
And I just feel like if people approach it like that, you're able to not give anybody a pass. We're going to fuck with this on a way of, okay, let's cut out the actual core root of this cancer instead of just, I don't know, fucking with the symptom. I'm going to chop your arm off. Well, no, we got to get to the tumor. Like, you're just...
That's a rational thought.
That should be the name of this, rational
right.
thoughts.
You're speaking of a rational thought. And you're speaking of two different experiences. The personal experience, which is going to influence you and affect you in some capacity, which comes from the root, which is also influenced by a certain capacity or certain reasons or things of that nature. So you have two different motivations that are clashing with one another, that are also influenced not just by external things, but each other at the same time. And some people haven't been taught how to balance that out, let alone how to address it, let alone how to discuss it with other people, let alone how to notice it in other people. So, like, I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys about a similar topic because he was kind of peeved about, you know, man, I keep seeing all these women now talking about, you know, women don't support men. Like, now, mind you, a good damn near all my homeboys that have kids have daughters. And I'm from the streetest of street dudes to the most regular or popular dude. Like, they all have daughters. And they love their daughters to death. So to me, it's like, okay, when you're talking about black men don't support black women, that seems like a disrespect to these guys that I know. Like, I don't know no deadbeat dads at all. And I'm proud of that. And we all would, if you a deadbeat dad, we jumping down your throat, period. But they have daughters, so that means they support women, clearly. They all love their mamas. They all have great relationships with their moms and champion their moms. So they do anything for their moms. That's protecting them as well. But you have to also look at what capacity they've learned these certain situations. They've been raised by single mothers, so they've probably been raised to approach things from a female's perspective to a degree. That can also be a factor of what you're seeing. So if you're saying they don't protect black women, how do you know that that's true if they were raised by black women and they will do anything for the black women in their family? Maybe you just haven't shown him a reason why he should protect you on an individual basis. Going to the deeper root of things collectively, and I kind of mentioned this to my homeboy, like going back to slavery times, if I tried to jump in and save you, I'm getting killed. And then I really can't protect you. So I have to sit here and eat this thing that I'm super uncomfortable with the hopes that we both can live another day and try to get away from this environment. Because as much as I want to jump in and try to save you right now, you have my child. If I jump in and save you, I get killed in front of everybody. Who's going to look after you then? So I have to eat this. And for some men, that's what's like, they've conditioned themselves like, okay, I need to, for the sake of a better tomorrow, I have to be willing to overlook that. Now, that's not the same as, say, in the case of old dude that smacked girl with the skateboard. Like, that's a completely disrespectful ass, not protecting black women type situation. That's a whole nother situation that we're not championing or saying is okay. But there are instances where men are trying to protect you, but it may not be the way that you would prefer them to protect you.
I would also not, like, even to, I guess, use that example, is to use, I guess, the worst of us to represent the bulk.
Right.
Because you shouldn't use, I don't know, man, these bitches crazy, she keyed my car and bust my window. I was like, that's the one you chose. That is not.
That doesn't represent all
that's
women.
not a representation of
But we both
black
do
women.
it. Both sides do it. And we have to be aware of that. There's a lot of men that speak ill of quote unquote black women. Like you said earlier, some dudes will say, you know, they're hard to deal with. Maybe that's you. They're hard to deal with for you. Maybe you on bullshit and she don't want to deal with your bullshit, so she seems difficult because she's trying to give you a chance while also letting you know she's not the one that you need to be messing with or you need to be playing with or you need to be lying to. She's holding you accountable for your bullshit and you're saying that she's difficult. No, she's trying to give you a chance and also letting you know to let go of the bullshit. That's not her, Negro. That's you. Yep. You can't get mad at her for that. Flip side, women do the same thing. You can be difficult on purpose because you've been conditioned to think that that shit is cute and it's not, and you're not acting with a certain level of emotional maturity because you think that that's how I'm supposed to act or that's just how I am because I'm a Sagittarius or whatever bullshit that you want to throw out there. No, you still need to be emotionally mature. So we have to pay attention. Again, those are individual variances. The root to that is we have both as a community, as people, as a race, which is a made-up word, been conditioned to approach each other with these certain biases as opposed to approaching each other with understanding and love like we're supposed to. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, I think, the idea that when you say things like that, approach somebody with understanding and love. I understand the root of these issues. At no point in time have we ever championed niggas acting like that.
Not at all.
We haven't championed niggas because, a lot of I think immediate examples are, men are not on the front lines. Dudes aren't even online so much as just retweeting shit like, fucking arrest Breonna Taylor's murderers. Like little shit like that. And these things are building up. So we're not championing any of that. Those examples too, those immediate things, I don't really know how to defend those because everybody's dying like as a whole. So I think, if you get caught up in the George Floydness or the big name one, you might not, whatever. Or you got a little Wayne in you that you don't want to speak on it. We're gonna speak on that because I try to love Wayne, but
we can clarify
that nigga there, boy, with that shit. Anyways, I'm sure that trying to have an understanding for things. I don't think I think people have to kind of get away from the idea that trying to understand it does not mean you absolve it or you condone it. It's if I'm in a fight, I need to understand my enemy.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to get beat the fuck up.
You got to understand yourself. Going back to the example of a fight, you can get your ass whooped just because you didn't pay attention to your stance. You can have better hands, but you're not paying attention to your stance because you're too busy paying attention to them that you get knocked out because your body placement is all off.
All of that.
That's not his fault. That's yours. So we all have to take some accountability. Even in your learning and understanding, you have to have a willingness to try and understand somebody. But that also means that you're not trying to change them or coerce them into agreeing with you either. You're just meeting in the middle, having a certain discussion about things. And you're willing to even accept the fact that we agree to disagree, but I'm still willing to hear your perspective.
Yeah. I lost my thought, kind of. Well, fuck it. I agree. I just the idea of of just this understanding, like even for example with this conversation of J. Cole and all this other shit, I think everybody, and I do know that there's a bit of pent up emotions people feel on both sides. We're underrepresented. Nobody talks about us. We feel, and for a number of reasons why people feel like that, like you have all these things pent up and don't know how to release them, and it's very like knee jerky. Oh, what the fuck that motherfucker say? Boom.
Right.
And it's like, just practice. This doesn't even mean you don't get mad, but I think people should practice. Maybe sit on that for like an hour before you just. And I'm gonna say an hour just because I feel like that's a decent enough time frame to work out. I would say maybe a day or two, but fuck it, just an hour.
Depends on your emotional maturity.
Yeah, but just so you can just, if you said something over and over in your head. Oh, that's what they meant. Okay, my bad. Like if you just, what the fuck that motherfucker say? Say it again. Say it again 2 more times. Just say it again 2 more.
Repeat it.
Oh,
enunciate.
My bad. I thought that that. But if you can do that with a fucking statement, just sit that. That doesn't. If you still feel like fucking it up, fuck it up. But just sit with it.
But even that is a problem. The fact that you're reacting that way to something that you just heard and haven't even fully processed, you're automatically having a reactive emotional situation that's exploding out of you right now. And you haven't even fully processed what that person is trying to say or what they're doing. That's part of the problem. And that part of the problem is on you.
But that's also not tweetable. See, if you do that, then you don't have a really good hot tweet in the moment and then you don't go viral.
Oh, because we care about going viral right now.
Yeah, if you fucking take the time to like, what did he say? Nah, fuck that. This is what it sounds like he said, so everybody gonna think that the motherfucker said. Tweet it.
But there's plenty of people that have gone viral for presenting a rational thought. Now, granted, it may not be at that very moment because people are like, no, fuck that. I don't fuck what he's trying to say. This is what he's no. That may be like a day or two later, like you said, where somebody's like, you know what, he kind of got a point though, low key. You should be able to have that rational thought and accept it immediately. If you immediately get so upset with something that is said to you, that's a you problem, not a they problem or a we problem. Like, say, for instance, it's a lot of motherfuckers getting recorded or knocked out for calling the motherfucker a nigga. Now, granted, I'm not mad with punching somebody in the mouth who decide they want to be disrespectful. But, excuse me, what did you say? I'm not just going, I heard nigga and start swinging on motherfuckers, because you got, let me make sure that you are as hateful as I think you are. Repeat that one more time. What did you just say? Let me clarify that. No. I'm not upset. I just want to hear this one more time. Okay, now let me have a rational thought of how I want to address this, and that rational thought may be putting my foot dead off in your ass.
Yeah, I think the reason I condone that, in the same way I think I've talked about other, I guess, violent responses, is because I don't really, I'm not coming at those from a space of knee-jerk reaction. I'm coming at those because I'm like, this is an effective means.
Right.
Like, if talking was an effective means, I'd be 100% for it. Talking is effective-ish. But talking, I think, at least for us, all of this talking that we're doing now, it's effective because on the back end, there is the idea that now you can listen to me talk, or we can fuck this shit up. What you want to do? We want to talk.
But it doesn't have to be an or. There's many a black parent out there right now that has whooped their child's ass and had a rational conversation with them and explained their wrongdoings and what they should have or shouldn't have done during said ass whooping. You can do both. You can think logically and whoop ass at the same time, but you have to step outside of yourself to be able to do that. Now, if you just hauling off whooping your kid's ass immediately, that's more of a beating, and it's probably borderline abuse, but we won't talk about that. But if you, not today. But if you can actually have a rational conversation with, I told you're not supposed to be doing, you're explaining to them in a violent way, you know, how they should be conducting themselves. And let me give you the problem, the solution that you should have, and my solution, all at the same time. You can whoop ass and be logical. It's okay.
Even that, like, that should be like, the idea of an ass whooping should be like, oh shit, like I really, really fucked up. Like, people using like ass whoopings, like, what, did you sneeze, nigga? Like, oh, I'm finna whoop, which diminishes.
You didn't cover your mouth. You know COVID is rampant right now.
That completely diminishes the power of an ass whooping. Like, if you just beating everybody ass, like, shit, I would say, like, you know, for people, you know, just like for niggas using, like, I guess, quote unquote violent means, I was like, yeah, I'm like, just don't use it like, you know, the other side, because you can tell like the other side uses it for any means necessary, whatever you do, and it loses its power. It's like, oh, if you're going to do it anyway, I might as well just go ahead and go for it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think, you know, you have to understand and have a balance and all these other fucking lofty shits that, this is really my pet peeve, because I said, these lofty shits you motherfuckers be fucking reposting and retweeting and nobody lives by and none of you fucking practice.
At all.
I think I really would. The past would have been really good if they just had cool things like Wi-Fi, because you could have like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I've been meditating on the concept of understanding for like 2 years. Holy fuck, got it. So would you repost this? Well, I would repost it now because I've really practiced understanding.
But that takes time, and nobody wants to take time. We want to do it now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm a fan clearly of like, quote unquote, the microwave culture that we have now in certain aspects. Because I like, you know, immediately being able to listen to a song that somebody just put out of their fucking home studio, or I like streaming movies and all that other shit. But, you know, some shit I don't like that. I think people aren't recognizing how some of that shit falls off into other aspects of your life that maybe shouldn't. You know, those things maybe take time, and these whole other aspects or whatever. Like for instance, like I was listening to, just off on a fucking tangent, I was watching Vlad TV, and he was, you know, he does those, like, he did this long one, he did two of them, long one with Michael J. White, and that nigga's amazing. Oh, we've got guests, motherfuckers. So actually, I'm gonna table this because this probably would be a good conversation for a whole nother. My man's had the pimp. Three's just walked in the building, folks. Gonna give man some applause. I think this is here, right?
I don't know, but you said give him some applause. I heard man clap in the ear.
I don't know. I don't. Oh wait. Oh, you want this one? No,
which one you telling me?
It really don't matter. Whichever one you like.
Just angle yourself up.
Angle yourself up.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it'll play, but I think maybe like there's a button here that it doesn't play for us. Oh, it's because I had this down. Let's try it again. That might be two. There we go.
There it is. I'm in the building. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, my good
people?
Death
claps at first,
right?
Everybody clap.
I wonder if it comes through, because it was one time we did it, and I put the applause for somebody, and I didn't hear it here, but it came through on the recording. So Nigga might have got 2 applause.
It was that awkward silence. Like
It really was.
it was.
It was just like, oh, they here.
I hate those.
They here.
Dead air.
Pretty much.
All bad.
Yeah, my brother, what's happening with you? What's good with it?
Man, I just been chilling. I just dropped the album and all that. Thank you for supporting. You
Of
know what I'm
course.
saying? I seen you. Y'all was banging it that day. I dropped the album. I just got on my clothing thing too. So I just been trying to grind those 2 things out. Everything been looking good so far. So you get the album on all platforms right now. That's volume 3, 7 tracks. I don't want to hold you up. 19 minutes of pure heat. I liked what you called it. You called it high grade cruising music.
It kind of is.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I like that title. So we could run with that. So go
high quality,
get
A-grade
that.
cruising music, folks. Like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say actually, like, not even just on some coincidental, like, oh yeah, my dog's doing cool shit. I was out in it was like a week or 2 ago. I was like out in San Bernardino just fucking around, and I saw a chick with the hoodie on.
Yeah, okay, that's
I was
right. That's
just
right.
Like, oh, look at this
We're trying to move around. Yeah, we're trying to make moves. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Did she purchase it or did she?
That wasn't none of my business. that wasn't none of my business.
No, we wasn't gonna ask no
I'm
question.
pretty sure she purchased.
Yeah,
it,
no,
you
she
know?
purchased. Yes, she purchased it full price, no discount.
Right
Just
now.
She purchased it. She earned it. Whatever she did, like, she out here repping. That's all I cared about.
Right.
You know?
We repping. That's it.
Salute to her. But yeah, man, we was in here just, kind of chopping it up about a lot of shit. But, like, basically, it's still everything that's going on. We kind of get into the meat and potatoes of it. And, it actually kind of just to keep it in the realm of music, how do you deal with, you've heard about, like, the Cole situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, people kind of, I don't know, you still at the end of the day don't necessarily know where he was going when he said what he said.
Yeah.
As an artist, do you kind of like worry about, if I say something, motherfuckers will take my leg, like, I know I meant this, and if somebody takes that shit and runs with it, do you care to correct them? Do you care to just, you say, fuck it?
You got to get it off your chest how you feel. So if you explaining yourself and that's the zone you in, you can't care what the next person think. You can't trip. It's gonna hurt some feelings sometime when you getting your point across. But I'm not a fan of filtering what I gotta say when I want to say it. So I'm gonna get it off how I want to say it. So
also part of the conversation we were having is like being able to get out something immediately as opposed to being able to sit on it and actually have a different perspective. So have you ever got something out in the booth, you got in and, wrote some lyrics, said something on the song, and then you sit on it for a little while. You're like, you know what, my perspective on that is a little bit different. Do you go back and change the song, or do you just let it be what it is?
Sometimes you're going to sit on songs. Sometimes you're not going to drop certain songs because you said certain things. Sometimes you're going to switch lyrics up. And, yeah, sometimes you may have to sit on the song if you're saying something deep or you saying something that's going to hurt some feelings or you think that's going to hurt feelings or touch people a certain way, you may have to sit on it a couple of days. But if you get it out, if you just put it out, it can always lead to like a certain type of regret, depending on who it touched. It's all,
Right.
Especially in these days, people are sensitive, so
Right.
you may have
Most
to
definitely
know that you're gonna touch some feelings, touch some people in the wrong way. The comments, the negative comments, gonna be coming your way, and you got to be ready for that because they're gonna call your mom out her name, they're gonna call your kids out their name. You got to be ready for everything. So,
Yeah, my thing is always just like, it looks like some people, there's one thing if somebody says some shit, what they said, and they said something that's offend you. But then, artists say things or somebody says something and you go, motherfuckers come out, you hear him tweet, that's not what I said. Like, y'all just
your words gonna get twisted around.
Yeah, y'all completely just went that way. I didn't say that.
But that's part of the issue. Like, we forget, because we have access to a lot of artists in general of all sorts, movie stars, actors, whatever your genre of art is, we have access to seeing you in some capacity on social media, but we don't know you. So that goes back to my original issue with you emotionally immediately reacting to something that you hear or see. You don't know that person well enough to get the context on what they listen to it a little bit more or watch it a couple more times to understand it before you get upset with them. Let this person artist you like they created it for a reason. Try to figure out what that reason is. Try to figure out whatever space they was in or whatever they were listening to or whatever they were feeling at that time, as opposed to this nigga said this, that, and you don't know why he said that. You just heard this song for the first time and now you mad about to crash into somebody on the goddamn road because you's upset.
True.
I'm just not one of them type of people that's mad or I don't think too deep into things. I just let people mind their business. I stay in my lane. If that's what you talking about, that's what you talking about.
So there's no topic at all that would rub you the wrong way if somebody brought it up. Like you like, hey, that's that man.
Yeah, there's definitely topics that'll rub me the wrong way, but I try to stay to myself as much as possible.
Right.
So that sound like if you, as an artist, you move more, I guess, what was it, like the old school way? Like, you know, you hear Dre talk about, you know, I'm definitely not a social media fan. I like to stay away. Like, I like to drop my art and get the fuck on, and y'all gonna deal with my art, as opposed to artists now. It's like, I'm gonna drop my art, but you're gonna be able to digest me as going to Costco and fucking throwing some shit around like yo niggas know me. Do you prefer to be like in a Dre-esque zone where you kind of take me from my art and let me mind my business?
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna avoid questions if asked, you know? But other than that, I'm trying to just keep it music, mind my business, stay in my lane, stay over here. Now, if you ask me, I have no problem commenting, but I'm not gonna just get involved. Now, it depends on the topic. Like, I don't get too deep into too much of this stuff, but like what's the Blackout Tuesday? I don't know how you guys felt about that, but I felt that I had to promote that for my people, what was going on in that time. Some people didn't really agree with it. I didn't know the ins or the outs of it, but to me, I felt like I had to stand up for my people and that let my people know I was riding with them. And besides that, I don't get too deep involved unless asked. I don't do too much.
I dug that but even with us, I know we kind of like, I know for me personally, like when I was like even posting about it, why it was a big deal. It was like, okay, post it and have solidarity with the movement, but you know, make sure you're not fucking with the hashtag, because I know like the big issue was if millions of people are posting Black Lives Matter in the hashtag, you're blacking out, you know, because this is where people are going for the information. So I knew that to me was like the biggest thing. So I was like, yeah, you know, I fuck with the movement, but I'm not going to put the hashtag because I want you all to still be able to go and find, you know, ways to do petitions if you need self for your mental health and so on and so forth.
That takes a second.
Yeah.
Because you just like, oh, we blacking out shit? Let's just do it. Like, you didn't ask no questions.
Well, yeah.
You didn't read shit.
That was a big argument of the day. You know, some people was saying their issues with that, and some people were saying why we should and why we shouldn't.
Like, do it. Do it. Be on one accord with everybody.
That's when I get out of it, because, like, look, man, I just tried to support.
Like
now they saying I'm doing something wrong. If I'm doing that's when I jump out the circle. You know what I mean? I try to jump in, show my support, then it's ins and outs of that. And I'm like, okay, let me.
Yeah, see, I
try to support y'all. I don't even.
I understand the emotions behind it, but I'm like, yeah, man, you know, just take time out. Like, if everybody, and this is not like even like I'm above, but if you're just, you know, up to date on the movement and how things work, this person's not. Okay, don't jump on their motherfucking head because they try and just go, hey, keep posting it, but just take the hashtag off. That's all you had to do. And I saw motherfuckers screaming and like making videos to yell at people. I was like, you motherfuckers are crazy. Like,
I mean, well,
what is wrong with y'all?
If you feel that way, then how do you feel about Wayne's comments?
I don't like him. I just
explain why.
Wayne don't know no better. Wayne is under a rock in his house. Wayne doesn't come outside.
See that? And like
Wayne doesn't know. He doesn't know any better.
I understand, like, you know, you are a bit away from things, but see, me personally, if I'm as away, I'm gonna be away like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre don't get caught up because he's like, I'm not gonna talk about it. If I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about, then if I'm gonna be away, then you just be away. Because like when he was having the conversation, I was like, all right, man, it would take nothing for you to, like, you know, if I'm away, I still got a phone. I'm away from a lot of things, but you have access to stuff. So I'm just, you know, not to shit on Wayne, but to hold Wayne to, you're a grown up, and, you know, everybody here grew up on Wayne. So you have a certain connection to the man. And it's like, come on, my nigga. Like, I know the story. You got shot. Cop saved your life. That's great. That particular cop did a good thing. He might not even be a good person, but he did a good thing that day. But to take what people are talking about, to take it completely, blow it out of context and go, we need to look at things on an individual level, look at ourselves. Bro, the problem is that the institution of the police that is supposed to protect these communities are disproportionately murdering black folks, my nigga. Right. That's it. That's the fucking boom. Close the book. That's the problem. And he was like, we got to look at ourselves. And I'm like, if you say some black on black crime shit, there's too much information out there to debunk that myth. You kill who's in your environment. Because if I'm in Compton, I'm not finna pack up shop and drive to fucking Beverly Hills to shoot some motherfucker. I'm gonna shoot the nigga next door because I want to shoot a motherfucker. Right. That's how it works. Mm-mm. So it's like, come on, Wayne. Like, I just felt like. And it wasn't even like fuck Wayne thing. I was like, that was just an irresponsible opinion, man. You didn't even try to like.
But like you said, he's in his own little bubble.
Like
Wayne is literally Patrick from fucking SpongeBob. Like he just be underneath his own rock chilling until his homeboy call him and he come outside. But I will say, in the context of our conversation of it's your fucking fault on a regular basis, he does have a point. But right book, wrong chapter. Like, let's talk about that later on. We don't have to talk about that right now. Like right now, this is what we're talking about. We're on chapter 2. You're on chapter 6. Like let's bring it back. Nobody told you to read ahead.
I think we all got what he was saying.
Right. It is not the right timing for it.
It's not the time. It's not the time.
It's like we can't kill him, because that goes back to what we were saying earlier as far as communicating with somebody, having an approach with them with love and understanding. If we start killing the people that are on the wrong chapter while we're trying to be on this movement, we lose that support. Because then they do that thing where I'm going back underneath my rock because I'm getting killed for trying to support y'all. And like, no, we just need to come on back. Let's explain to you where we at right now. We gonna meet you with love. We don't hate you. We just gotta give you a little smack upside the head just to remind you, hey nigga, we on chapter 2. Come right here. Sentence number 3. That's where we at. Don't read ahead. Just stick with us right now. Stick with the plan, and then we can move on from there. After that, we good. But do we do that? No. We emotionally get on. This nigga said, fuck Wayne. He don't even date dark skinned girls. Yeah, he like foreigners. That has nothing to do with what he just said. Y'all going on a tangent to some shit that don't have nothing to do with nothing right now. Which you're doing the exact same shit he's doing. You're talking about something that's not relevant to right now.
I still can't get with the like I understand you feel the way, you get in your emotions, you whatever, but I just still can't get with the mindset of a person who's like, what this motherfucker say? I can't wait till this mother.
Let me tell all the people that's gonna listen.
I'm almost about to cuss people out in the comments, and I'll delete the whole thing. I'll be right there though, like about to tell them.
Yeah, I haven't got to the point of like super responding. Like I think the first time I did in a while was like somebody had posted something on something we had posted on the page, and then they were like completely misconstrued. But even that, I was like, most of my conversation was like, did you watch it? Because I don't even feel like I feel stupid arguing with you if you didn't watch it. He's like, this clip is dumb. And I was like, okay, this is a clip. But if you didn't look at the whole episode, then you have no idea the context of what I'm saying. So I'm arguing with you we're arguing from 2 different places. We're going to be sitting there arguing all day because you're this clip is this shit. And I'm like, I'm arguing with you with that clip is part of like an hour conversation, and you're just. But
that was also a different situation. He just wasn't too bright because I provided clarity and context in the comment section, and he still didn't get it. So he was on his own little loop that day.
But yeah, that's another thing.
Shout out to him if you're still listening.
That's another thing I think people do. You kind of have to recognize like there are just people out there, regardless of the views or side they're coming from. They're there to just, I want to yell today. I'm like, oh, you want to just scream and shit? Well, I'm good. I'm out. Like, you know, I'm not saying I won't have a conversation with you, we won't communicate, but if you're in a when you good, we can talk.
Yeah, right now.
But we gonna table this right now because I'm not
about none of this.
I'm not doing none of that.
You don't deserve my energy
at all.
Yeah, you know, and
you don't deserve my energy.
And it's with love, like, 'cause especially, and I do that more so with people that I think I care about over motherfuckers I don't like. Because if I don't like you, I might just fuck you. Like just a swift. Right. What's the best way to go?
Ain't no context.
Eat a dick. Your mom's a whore. Suck your mother. Like I want to get this out the way. Right. If I care about you or something, I'd be like, we're gonna table this. Like I don't want to talk about it, but the way we're going about it now, I can, even if you feel like this is good, I can feel me, you know, not anything that makes me feel like I'm off of sin. I'm like, no, we're going to just table this. Like, doesn't mean we don't have to talk about it. But right now, this is not fair. This is not
People don't realize how much of a courtesy that is, though. Like, I can easily just say, fuck you, or just throw hands right now. And the fact that I'm saying, we going to revisit this, but now is not the time. People don't realize how much I'm respecting you by doing that. Like, going back to our earlier conversation of lady folk.
Oh shit!
Approaching us a certain way, like you don't realize how sometimes him leaving, saying, you know what, I don't want to talk about this right now. That's not me avoiding. I'm trying to give us both some time to approach this maturely later on. That shows respect and love. You thinking he disrespecting you because he trying to peace out? No, I'm gonna go take a walk. I'm gonna get something from the store. You want some chips? I'll come back with some chips.
Whatever.
But right now, we're not gonna do that. You're not about to mess up my energy because you having a moment. Let's talk about this in about 20.
Yeah, you know, like just I don't know. Yeah, screaming and like, or not even screaming, just having a conversation that borders on, oh shit, it's bubbling. Like, let's not. Let's be able to like table.
I'd rather
this.
not even get to that point. If I feel like I'm getting to that point, like you said, I need to go take a walk. Let me. If it's, you know, come on, man.
And respect that somebody says like, hey, this is not
Emotional.
yeah, this is not conducive right now. This is not, we not, even if, you know, because if somebody's used to communicating like that, they think that shit normal. Like,
It's not.
Yeah, because I know, and I've explained this. I'm not anybody's fucking professional, or whatever. But from experience, it's like, oh, this nigga's octave raised. Okay, let me kind of like, because I know what comes next. Like, I've been in this situation enough times. Oh, he raising his voice and shit.
Let me square my shoulders up.
All right, this is some shit's going. Don't move your, you moving your hands. I'll be out. Relax. Just for me, it's a triggering. It's, you know, it's like, oh, I just know that this is not. Even if I know we not finna fight, baby. Like, but I know we're not. We're leaving the realm of rational conversation. I don't need to be right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we're leaving the realm of this being a conversation. Also, we're leaving the realm of this being a conversation about resolving the issue. This is now a conversation about you getting your shit off because you feel away and you need to get your shit off on me. You know what? Punch a bag. Because like you're not here to fix the issue. You're here to, you made me feel away, so I need to make you feel how I feel, and then I need you to feel a way about the feelings. And it's like, yo, this is not acknowledging how you feel, but like, this is the problem. In my mind, we're gonna fix this problem. Do you want to fix? We just want to dance in the problem. I ain't got my shoes.
That's a different perspective. I've literally had a girl I talked to say that I was her punching bag, and I'm supposed to like listen to her problems.
That's abuse.
It is.
I think I'm putting it out like, yo, niggas, you could say it. That's abusive. That's
why
emotionally abusive. She didn't beat your ass in the face, but she's punching you in your psyche. That's emotional abuse.
And that's why I said I used to talk to her.
That's
I'm so cool, I get called nonchalant.
I get that all the time.
Wow.
But it's like,
I'm nonchalant.
I'm sitting there taking everything you give me. I'm sitting there just that I don't want to give it no reaction. I don't want to give it too much energy. So the fact that I decide not to give it too much energy, I get called nonchalant. So it's like,
or you don't care.
It's a lose-lose situation. You're not
like,
going to win.
I'm trying to be mature, and
what do you want me to do? Do you want me throwing chairs, or do you want me?
Think,
you know,
if we're just gonna,
some people like that.
If we're gonna have the black man perspective now, you know,
yes.
Hashtag misogyny is just a joke.
You joking?
But it's like, yeah, like I'll explain that a lot. I'm like, I don't always have the luxury to like be emotional, because it's like, you know, if I raise my voice, somebody go, oh, nigga, you was scary. I'm like, wait a minute, we were talking and I felt away, and now you expressed to me that you wanted me to be more emotional, to be more open. So I did that. And then when I did that, all of a sudden now, like, that was scary. I can't fuck with you. We can't whatever, because now you're a liability, because you say that shit in front the police or somebody, I'm instantly like, yeah, you were, this motherfucker's what did you do to her? Man, I raised my voice because I was feeling away. He scared me. Now I gotta fucking, you know, oh, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm out. I'm gone for the, like, that anything could happen. That's a legitimate fear. So it's like, okay, I'm not nonchalant, but I'm being very controlled about how we react to this. And if you can't do that, then we might have to, you know, separate or some shit, because this is now detrimental to my fucking well-being now.
But that's the part of the male perspective that doesn't get talked about or highlighted. And that's part of the issue. Like, not to be completely misogynist, but we are letting women express themselves and say their perspective, but we don't always create a safe space for men to say theirs. Like, I get the same shit. Like, you don't care because I'm being nonchalant. So me not reacting to this in a negative way or a way that you would prefer is a problem. I can't just be calm and sit here and listen to what you have to say and not feel any particular way about it. I just want to let you vent and let you say what you got to say and be like, all right, so now what are we going to do?
I'm glad I'm not alone in that.
No.
I'm glad I'm not alone now.
You're not. I'm getting that all the time. You nonchalant, or you don't care, you don't give a fuck, you just don't have no feelings. Like, no, I just choose to have some emotional maturity and decide this is not a situation that I need to react on.
This statement, and I'm not saying it verbatim, but I've heard from like a couple women actually, and it's when the conversation is said that you are not feeling, you're being an asshole, you're not emotional. It's some, not all, don't understand really what they're saying when they're like, we want you to be emotional. You want me to be a haven for you to vent. You want me to, you know, rub your feet and rub your back and kiss you. But me being emotional means I have bad days. It means I'm sad. It means I'm angry. It means I am going through whatever feelings that you go through, but I go through in my own ways, but you're not really trying to receive and deal with those. You like me being emotional when it's like
convenient for you.
Let's cut on the Tyrese, baby. And you
right.
know,
I was just about to say that. You want some Jody and Yvette type shit.
You know.
I'm not on that. I'm not living this ghetto fabulous love story. That's not what I'm on. I didn't go and get a damn master's degree to be in here yelling so all my neighbors can hear our argument next door or downstairs. No, that's not what we're doing. If you want to talk, let's talk. But understand that my reaction is going to be my reaction for a certain reason, and you have to respect that. And I'm going to respect your reaction for whatever that is, as long as you ain't putting your motherfucking hands on me. Other than that, let's sit here and talk like two rational adults.
Or being just flat out wildly disrespectful. Like, I didn't call you out your name.
At all.
I didn't raise my voice. Like, we're disagreeing, and that's great. You know, we could maybe, you know, spread out, or, you know, you sit over here, whatever, and then we reconvene and have a conversation. But that's not, don't do that. That's crazy as shit.
I think we all say the same thing. I say that, I say the same exact words, just like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not even just.
It might just be a lose-lose situation. My bad to cut you.
Oh
No,
no,
you
you
good.
good. But it's not even just off the. I react crazy. It's just like, okay. Once again, I go back to maybe not understanding like what you're asking when you say I want a man who's emotional. Okay, well if I'm in tune with how I feel, I didn't call you out. Like when you go, you know, same thing with people like he calls you a bitch. You know, this, that, and the third. He can't. I'm like, well, you know, to a degree, you make a good point because somebody who loves you and cares about you is not going to say some degrading thing. So if I'm a black bald motherfucker, well, now I'm looking at you like, do you really,
Right.
You said all this like, you know, I love you again, fuck you, Threezy, old rapping ass, bitch ass nigga. And it's like,
Yo,
well,
I'll make on do shit.
yeah, it's like,
Right.
okay, like, well, fuck, then you're not really fucking with me. Like, you don't, because you
You
wouldn't,
showing
like,
your true colors.
yeah, you don't say that. You wouldn't, like,
But that goes back to our conversation earlier is what's the root? Like you're seeing the individual variance of it right now, but the root of that is you probably don't know how to have a functional conversation like this. You don't understand how to have a rational relationship where there's mutual respect on both ends. You want me to react the same way that all the other people you fucked with have reacted, and you're not the one that's leveling up to understand like that's not how I get down. This is a completely different situation. You don't understand yourself. So you getting mad at me because you don't understand your past transgressions and ain't mad peace with them. So now I'm the fall guy, which I'm not about to be that. You're not about to sit up here and get mad at me and blame me because you haven't sat back and looked at your experiences in your personal life. I'm cool chilling over here letting you be mad while I'm sipping on my juice. Do your thing. Be mad. But
Say every word. Let me know when you done. I'm listening. But let me
that
know
seems
when you done.
passive aggressive. If you sitting there like, you done? Oh, you want to be an asshole? You ask me? No, I'm asking you done because I don't want to interject you. I'm letting you speak your piece, and I just want to know, are you done so I can speak my piece? Oh, now you trying? No, I'm not trying to, and I'm telling you I'm not. Okay, we're not about to do this. I'm trying to tell you what I'm not doing, and I'm trying to actually meet you in the middle. You ain't fucking with that. So that's when I got to leave. I got to go to the store, get that
go
bag
take
of
that
chips.
walk, yeah.
I got to take that walk, and you ain't even trying to let me do that. So what, like you said, it's a lose-lose. But do I need to lose in this situation every time? No, at some point you got to take a L too, which means sit back and let me do what I got to do to help regulate myself. Because you fucking up my vibe, and I don't like it. I'm about to go take a walk and listen to some Threezy as I'm walking to chill myself out. That
That'll
way.
put you in the zone. All platforms right now.
Go plug your shit
go and get in this car,
and just
get some
ride.
high quality cruising
Right.
music.
Cruise.
Like, calm the fuck down.
Because you could easily listen to the wrong shit and then get in the car and listen
I've
to some
never-
DMX or some shit and
I've
come
never
back
understood-
kicking doors in.
Yeah, I've never understood that just from like a logical perspective when you hear like somebody go like, oh, you know, like, you know, you have like, you know, if you want to fight somebody, you'll listen to fight music. And that maybe makes sense. Like, you know, you about to go play football, you listen to the fucking bang 'em up shit. But, you know, it helps. That helps feed the mood that you're in because, you know, I want to go out here and knock some shit around, so I'm going to have some knock some shit around music. But if you're like sad, right, and you're about to like break up, and I've never understood the fact of like if you're already innately in a sad, fucked up space,
Listening
you
to
then go listen to some
some
sad, fucked
more
up
sad
shit.
shit.
And it's like, what you just fucking go ahead and grab the knife, nigga. What's wrong with y'all? Like,
Right.
what do you listen to? I'm like, I'm always like, if I'm sad, like you'll probably have me listen to the happiest shit because I'm innately already in a bad space. So let me fucking fill everything else up with some happy shit. Like it doesn't like I'm gonna be here anyways.
That's
like,
a you problem.
yeah.
As just an individual person, you're making the wrong decision and you're reacting to it accordingly, and you're getting mad at everybody else. Like I'm mad at you, so instead of calming down, I'm gonna listen to City Girls, and I think that that's gonna put me in the right position to have a conversation with you. No, it's not. You're going to continue to be City Girl esque.
Look, a
Like
nigga
when
can't-
you heartbroken, you gotta have that bounce back music playing. That music, I'm finna go get something better than
Right.
what just happened.
like,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You got to get right. You can't stay in that same mode. I can't be listening to the Mario whinings. I gotta bounce back. I gotta bounce back ASAP.
Yeah, well, you can't be like, oh, me and Jessica just fucking got into it. You don't cut that Marvin's room off.
Right.
Cut it off.
Right now.
Look, I don't know. Like, what do you need? We could talk, my nigga. Like, I'm a good friend, but you're not finna come in here tonight and cut all that, everything, Toronto. Cut it off. If it's
Right.
not Tory, I don't want to hear it.
You got
Right.
48 hours at most. Process it. Talk to me about it. Go through your motions, but you got 48 hours to be a mature adult with it and utilize whatever resources you got. After that, get your shit together. We gonna bounce back from this situation. Like you said, we're not about to sit here and be Moby and say,
This is not acknowledging the fact that and this is also like almost playing into that. You will naturally have your dips. Damn, man, that's where I used to go with her to the motherfucking hot dog stand or whatever the fuck we used to. You're gonna have that innately. So why the fuck would you go? Because them fucking waves are gonna hit regardless. You're gonna be driving down the street and be like, damn, look at that goddamn dog. Damn, that bitch got a dog.
Right, exactly.
That's gonna happen regardless. So why the fuck I'm gonna live there? Because I know within 48 hours for me to just kind of develop a plan of, all right, man, I need to focus. I need to snap back. Because you got anywhere from however long it takes you to get over this person, whatever your depth of relationship was. Maybe you might have 6 months span where you might be like, I'm good. Oh, this motherfucking TV show. Cut the TV off.
There's gonna be them shows, them songs, them moments, everything. Like you said, you're gonna see a random dog. You're gonna be like, I remember we was planning to get that same dog. Then you're gonna have to tell yourself, you have to hit yourself in the chest, like keep your chest poked out. The thing where we didn't come this far to stop now.
I don't know why y'all brought me to the strip club. I met her at the strip club. I gave her a big tip and she took her home. I don't want to go to another strip club. Then you should have been with her in the first place.
Not about that, man. Strip clubs is fine. Like, did you know? I can't believe you was up there. I told you Cinnamon wasn't shit.
Right.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You didn't tell
Terrible.
me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna turn that down. I'm gonna just figure it out. We gonna figure it out. Look, and Cinnamon was terrible, but Diamond, man, I fucking love
fuck
you,
with
girl,
you.
man.
And I can come
with
see you because you don't work on the same day she do.
My bad. They might brought my wings. Like, yeah, I'm not turning down. Strip clubs are really good places. Are they opening back?
No, they're like phase 6. They're in the low end of the spectrum.
I mean, not now.
Sorry,
but like I just
sorry,
feel like
burst
those,
your bubble.
those should come back. I saw tattoo shit.
This is a
back.
good place to vent. You can vent.
People
at
really
the
be
strip
felt like
club.
I'd be like, man, I've gone to strip clubs and really didn't give a shit about the ass. It's just I like the environment. Like,
as long as you got a limit that you're gonna spend or throw,
Right.
I go to the strip club responsibly.
That's an issue. Some people
That's
ain't
a
got that
bar.
limit.
Go to the strip club responsibly.
Responsibly, you got to.
Yeah.
I've gone to Stars many a times and went
Love it.
upstairs just to watch ESPN. Like, I know you naked on stage in the corner of my eye, but I'm not really here to pay you any mind. I'm just here for the ambiance specifically. I want to eat this burger real quick and watch whatever's going on Sports Center and let you do your thing in the corner of my eye. I'm not really here for all of that.
The first time I went to Onyx, man, shit was such a lovely experience. Everybody was so fun. It was so friendly.
Did you fall in love?
Nah, we just had good wings and was fucking with it.
They have good wings.
Yeah, like we was just eating wings, and she was bad, and we had but we just both were really good with this is great where it's at.
Right.
Like we was just good home. I was like, yo, and we kind of like I we just never because I was going home I think the next 2 days, but I was like, hey, you want to kick it? And she was like, you know what? Yeah, but it wasn't on some like we fell in love. I was like, no, nigga, you
The
just
vibes
cool.
was there. The
Right.
vibes
Yeah, I was like, this nigga just cool. I was like, you realize your ass ain't even out. She was sitting in the chair. We was just talking shit. I was like, I fuck with this nigga.
Now, that's a beautiful experience. That
Yeah.
like being able to actually be in that environment and meet the actual person as opposed to the persona.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot more fun than actually being in there and I can smell the trick off you.
Mm-hmm.
You smell like you gonna throw some money. It's like I done had to grab a couple, bruh. Like you got your money in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a target. Sit down. You about to bring some negative attention. Just approach. They are people. You can approach them as a person. Just because she in there clapping them cheeks, that's a talent. But that doesn't mean that she's not a person. Like sit here and enjoy it and approach her like a human being.
Now, there's something to be said about like strip clubs being like a good environment to like learn how to deal with people and not like, not going there to be like understand some ass. Going on there, learn how to look at people for people. Like, yes, she's naked and yes, her ass is out, but this is a human being. Learn how to talk to her. Like Cinnamon or Ashley or whatever is like a whole human being and shit and really a cool motherfucker. I feel like that environment you kind of get out of some of these weird social dynamics out here in the, I guess, regular world. So you kind of be able, oh yeah, she'll engage you. You guys can engage on a more honest level or whatever. I like it.
If she allows.
If she not fucking with it, then you walk away. That's another thing. You niggas, like, I don't know, man, you weird niggas are out here making life really difficult. Like, I'm not acknowledging, I'm not saying these niggas don't exist, but like, they just do shit that's weird. And I'm just like, fuck, man, y'all making life really fucking difficult.
90% of cats is weird. Cornballs, so.
It's a lot.
Us small 10%, it's hard for us. It makes our job even harder to do.
What's your top one or two cornball weirdo things that you see in certain dudes or females, people in general, that really bothers you?
I mean,
you in the music business, I know it's
just. I mean, what makes it harder for me, or in certain situations like that, these dudes that sending these random D pics to girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I can't even say what's up. It's like that, you know what I mean? I'm getting curved before I even get in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't even. She think I'm automatically finna come with that after she tell me what's up. So, you know, that's the number one I would say, because that's.
Yeah, we don't support
I can't get down with that. How do you feel that bold? Like,
once again, from just a logical perspective, like the idea of the whole nudes aspect is so that we can get together to do the sex thing or whatever. Or maybe if that's even your whatever gets you off, the people look at your shit. Like, what is that, exhibitionists or whatever the fuck them people are. But the idea is that the other person wants the shit to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
So it just is still kind of like,
don't be raping people's eyes with your dick pic just because you felt like you want her to see it and she don't even know your first name. Like, that's not cool.
When women explain it, I'm just like, you know, you respect their experience, but the shit just be like, so y'all was talking? She's like, yeah. And then y'all met. She's like, yeah, I met him the day before and we exchanged numbers. And then y'all talked for the first time today. Yeah. So an hour in the conversation, she's like, yeah, he said, you look really good in this picture. The picture's of me and my mom. And then he showed me his dick. What?
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't even in a dick conversation. Y'all wasn't talking nasty. She was like, no, we weren't doing. There was no.
What about your mama, mate? He don't want to pull his dick out.
There's a whole bunch of women who be like, no, like, I understand. And this is not a justification, but like, I understand being in a realm of conversation. We're talking about fucking. I told him I like it in the like. There was nothing in the conversation that jumps to dick. Like, there's about 12 levels before we get to dick talk. That nigga just skipped all that shit. I was like, fuck, man. Like,
now, speaking of double standards, if a woman sends you random nudes, how do you feel about that? Unsolicited.
I'm gonna be like, it depends. You know, if you a baddie, you know, we might accept that. We might go figure something out. But if you like, you know, not my type. I don't want to say a type, and you know, in these times, if you're not my type and you sending me them kind of pics, you'll get blocked. Period. Point blank.
Is that your immediate reaction, like you block, or do you say something before you block them?
I'm not gonna even say nothing to you. You straight block.
I might be an asshole and actually like continue a conversation with this person.
Just keep it going. Set up plans. Set up plans. Don't show up.
No, I'm not even gonna set up plans. I just want to know what's going through your mind, like the mental health, you know, component of me. Once I want to see what are you thinking and why. Like, why did you think this was okay?
I'm listening. That's always like the.
I thought you throwing a punchline out there or something.
No, this is just like the preemptive because time is time.
Right.
I want to hear this.
But no, I want to dig into this conversation. Like, why did you feel it was okay to send me nudes? Where's your head at? Oh, that's where your head at. Oh, that's cool. Let's continue to have this conversation. All the while, I'm not entertaining the fact that you sent me the nudes at all. You didn't react to my picture. I know I didn't react to your picture. This is my reaction to your picture, which is, why did you do that?
Yeah, I think I would like it. I like titties. I like ass. If y'all gonna throw some nudes, you know, I appreciate, you know, the thought, but part of it, especially if we don't know each other like that, or I would sort of think of, there's a conversation we might have again about where your head at. Like, I like it, and there's like, in my pants, I'm like, look at that ass, and then in my head, I'm like, she done gone through some shit.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that's like, especially if we not even in that zone of, if we talking about it and this getting to the nitty gritty, you want to, okay, cool. Like, now I know we're leveling up. But if we're just like, hey, I liked your page. Here's my asshole. Thank you. I don't know where this came from, and now I'm wondering if, you know, you should go get psychiatric help.
How many people have you showed this asshole to?
Right.
I get that's
promo we're doing. This is asshole promo.
If that's where we're at, you know, I appreciate it. So, you know, those of you out there who know the gang.
Maybe that
and-
could be another topic or
Yeah.
something. You cats that be sending random dick pics.
You fucking it up for everybody.
Yeah, right. What's going
Yep.
through y'all head when y'all doing that? You know?
So I'm running it back. We're now it's fucking 5 o'clock. It don't matter. Just a Dope Ass Podcast, man. We really appreciate the brother, the good man, the
Much love. Appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm in the building. I
The
came through. I
poet.
made it.
modern day poet Threezy, man.
Go download that Volume 3, all platforms.
Tell them how to find you, man.
Yeah, you can follow me on everything. You can type it in on all social media. That's Threezy, THR33ZY. The album is Volume 3, all platforms. Go check it out. We got new music on the way. If you need a sweatsuit, I got the clothing line popping. I'm starting from the ground up. Black-owned business from the ground up. DM me on any of my social media platforms. We get you a sweatsuit, get you some music. The website coming soon. Look out for me.
5. You heard it. Like you said, man, support black-owned businesses. Mindful Complexions, fucking Good News Network, Just a Dope Ass Podcast, Brick to Billboard, Dirty Laundry, ET in LA, fucking Stunners, all you goddamn niggas that are doing shit.
Shout out Dirty Laundry. Shout out ET in LA. Yes,
fuck
sir.
Fuck with the gang. Chad Awesome, King Carter.
King Carter, K11NGC.
That's it, y'all. See y'all next week. Later.